Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are fine, doing well during this pandemic time. I must congratulate you for becoming a class 12 students for getting promoted to class 12 from class 11. Before we start anything, let me say thank you and express my gratitude towards the management of Delhi Public School Siliguri for giving me this opportunity to start class 12 business studies with you people. I also extend my thanks to our principal in charge sir, Mr. Sukanto Ghosh, our headmaster sir, Mr. Amlan Sarkar, for giving me this opportunity to start the class. Now, before we start the actual course, the actual studies of business studies, class 12, let me first explain you the relationship between class 11 business studies and class 12 business studies, because if this relationship is not created, you people might feel a little, lost in the entire syllabus. So let us begin with class 11 business studies, what happened in class 11 business studies, so that we can have a short recap and understand the things, and then we can gradually move on to class 12. So class 12 business studies is actually related to class 11 business studies in various manners. Let us first understand. Class 11 business studies is all about how to start a business. What are the conditions? What are the things that you must keep into mind? What type of business activity you should take? Whether it should be a sole proprietorship business, or it should be a joint stock company, or it should be a joint Hindu family business, or you must go in for a partnership business, and so on. Like chapter 1 in class 11 business studies started nature and significance of business. So nature and significance of business means what is business, what are the do's and don'ts of a business, what is the business risk, what is the characteristics of business. Chapter 2 started with forms of business organization. There are 5 forms of business organization. Number 1 was sole proprietorship business, then was joint Hindu family business, then was partnership business, then cooperative society, and lastly but not the least was company. Then we did chapter 3, that was all about public, private and global enterprise. Then we did chapter 4, business services, and so on. We completed all the chapters and class 11 business studies was done. So by the knowledge of class 11 business studies, we are able to start a business. We can start a business. We will know where to arrange the money from, whether we must do a domestic business or we must go for an international business, whether we should start a big business or a small business, and so on. But in class 12 business studies, we are going to manage the business that we have already started. So class 12 business studies deals with management of the business. Alright, so let us go into details. What is class 12 business studies? Class 12 business studies is of 100 marks. 80 marks is theory, which you will have to give in the board examinations. Whenever the board will start, you have to give the board examination over there, this 80 marks. Next is 20 marks practical. Practical will be conducted as per the board's instruction. This 80 marks boards are divided into 2 parts, part A and part B. Part A consists of 8 chapters. Like chapter 1 is nature and significance of management. Chapter 2 is principles of management, and so on. Like this, we have got 8 chapters in part A, and we have got chapter number 9, 10, 11 and 12, that is 4 chapters in part B. Total there are 8 chapters. In this video, along with this video, I am also going to share the syllabus. The link will also be given in the school website itself. You may just click on that link and get the syllabus of class 12. So children, now we are going to discuss the syllabus of business studies, as I've already started about it. So theory, as we can see that this syllabus which I'm showing you over here on the screen right away, this has been given by the CBSE board. So business studies syllabus class 12 2020-21, time is 3 hours, theory 80 marks, project 20 marks, and there are units, that is part A and part B, that is chapter 1 to chapter 8, and over here chapter number 9 to chapter number 12. So I'll just read out for your reference. Chapter number 1 is nature and significance of management. Chapter 2 is principles of management. Chapter 3 is business environment. Chapter 4 is planning. Chapter 5 is organizing. Chapter 6 is staffing. Chapter 7 is directing. Chapter 8 is controlling. Now we go with part B. Chapter 9 is financial management. Chapter 10 is financial market. Chapter 11 is marketing management. Chapter 11 is marketing management. Chapter 12 is consumer protection. So part A total is 50 marks and part B total is 30 marks. Now we shall go deeper into what is there in chapter 1, that is nature and significance of management. So over here in this chapter we shall discuss about the management concepts, objectives and importance. Please understand that concept of management means definition as well as features. So we'll understand about the concept, that is management definition and management features. After that we'll discuss about the two terms, that is effectiveness and efficiency. Then we'll discuss about the objectives of management and we'll also describe the importance of management. After that we'll go for the nature of management, whether management is a science, art or profession. We'll discuss about it in detail. Then we'll go for the levels of management. We will also start with the functions of management, right? That is planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. And after that we'll do coordination, and after this chapter will conclude, right? So let's start. So let's continue. We are now going to start up with the meaning and concept of management. The topic we are going to cover is from NCERT book. The online and the soft copies of this book is already available, and I will also be sharing the link with you in the website of itself, so you can get the book downloaded. Wherever extra materials are needed, I will also be providing with you a PDF format things, so that you can go for better reference and learning. So let's continue. So management is a series of interrelated functions performed by all managers. Now what do you mean by the word over here, interrelated functions? See, interrelated functions, it means over here that all the functions of management, they're all interrelated with each other. If one function is performed in a wrong way, all other functions will have something or the other as problem, or at max, the entire plan may get distorted. So a very common and famous definition of management says that management is the art of getting things done by others. So management is the art of getting things done by others. But then this was a very traditional and very old age definition. Nowadays modern definition of management is there in progress. So modern definition of management states that management is a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving goals effectively and efficiently. So what is the modern management saying? Modern management is saying that it is a process of getting things done. Try to understand. They are not doing the things on their own. They are getting the things done with the aim of achieving goals. Try to understand. A goal should be there. In every activity there is a goal. Currently I am teaching you. There is a goal. The goal is that you must not sit idle. I must not be idle. And we must all be trying to cover and fulfill the goal of syllabus completion, imparting knowledge to you so that you can take up your boards properly. So achieving goals effectively and efficiently. Now with this definition, modern management of definition, we are coming across three very important words. Three very important words or terms. The first word over there is process. The second word over there is effectiveness. The third word over there is efficiency. Now what is a process? Process is a step by step or you can say sequence of activities. Sequence of activities that you have to perform. If you don't perform those activities in proper sequence, then the activity, the act of management will have something or the other problem. Next is effectiveness. What is effectiveness? Effective is all concerned about getting the work done. Getting the work done on time. Time is the most important thing over here. It means work should be done on time. But what is efficiency? Efficiency means in addition to effectiveness, it also thinks about one thing, that is at a low cost. It means that work should be done, tasks should be completed, targets should be achieved, but at a lower cost. It means that all the resources that is there, we must introduce less resources, or whatever resources are absolutely required, that much only, without any wastage, and try to get the maximum output. So now we have to discuss the difference between effectiveness and efficiency, which is a very important topic. We are going to follow Poonam Gandhi book. For students of class 12, I am 100% sure you don't need any extra introduction about Poonam Gandhi book. So we, as you all know, that we follow Poonam Gandhi book as well as NCERT book. But for this difference between effectiveness and efficiency, we are going to follow Poonam Gandhi book, because it is given in nice way over there. Right. So let's start. Effectiveness and efficiency differences. The first over here is M for meaning. Completing the task on time, no matter about the cost. It means that the work should be completed. Cost is not a very big deal for me. Work has to be completed. But efficiency essentially says that there should be, tasks should be completed on time with minimum input and maximum output. It means that there has to be an input output relationship. So output should be more, input should be less. It means wastage should be less. What is the main objective of effectiveness? End result. It basically thinks about completing the thing. The task should be completed on time. End result should be achieved. That means achievement of end result. And objective of efficiency is that to conduct a cost benefit analysis. Right? Next is, what is the major concern of effectiveness? Is doing the right task. Doing the right task. And the major concern, or the most important concern for efficiency, is doing the task in the right way. Try to understand, here it is right task, and it is doing the task in the right way. It means that effectiveness is only concerned about the task should be completed on time, work should be done, the show must go on. Efficiency is mostly concerned about whatever tasks we are doing, we must not involve huge cost, but we must try to do it in a cost effective manner. So now the next topic, that is features or characteristics of management, which is already written over here. Features or characteristics of management. First, management is a goal oriented process. See, this is something which is quite easy to understand, that management is a goal oriented process. Whatever activity is done in a business, in an organization, whether it is a profit making organization, whether it is a not for profit organization, whether it is a household, whether it is a charitable trust, or whatsoever it is, whether it is a friends going for an outing, wherever, in all these activities management is applicable, and it is a goal oriented process. See, we are currently doing this online classes. This is also done by management. So what was the management task, or you can say the management goal? That was to conduct the class seamlessly, and this is what it is happening right now. So management is a goal oriented process. Second, management is all pervasive. It means it is applicable everywhere. Please write it. It is applicable everywhere. If you people are not having the copy, please arrange for a copy, pause the video, bring a copy and write these keywords, because if you don't write these keywords, then in the examination you're not going to get marks. A keyword is such an important word which will hold at least 10 15 words before the keyword, and also 10-15 words after the keyword. So that is a main and important word that has to be there. Anyway, so management is all pervasive. It means that it is applicable everywhere. Management is applicable everywhere. Management is applicable in all kind of institutions. In all kind of activities, management is applicable. But then, you know, the degree of involvement, the way you do it might differ because of the socio-economical background, because of human differences, right? Like, the way you deal with a person here in India, right? Over, like that, you might not be able to deal with a person who is staying over there in the USA or maybe in Australia and so on. The way you can deal with people over here in Siliguri, in the same manner maybe you might not be able to deal with persons in Japan or something like that, right? So management is all pervasive, right? It is applicable everywhere, but there might be some changes in the way it is to be applied. Third is, management is multidimensional. Management is multidimensional. Now what do you mean by multidimensional? What are the dimensions of management? The first dimension of management is management of work. See, whenever a management is there, the management has to look after the work properly. All organizations are supposed to carry out their work properly. If work is not done properly, then the management will never be able to survive. The business will come into loss. Everything will be, like, in a jeopardized manner. Second is management of people. Now what is management of people? People involves mostly over here employees. In an organization, we must take care of the employees properly, because if the employees are not there, if the employees are not there, then a business will not survive. A business will not be able to get to those great heights which it want to. For example, I'll tell you, for the last 6 years, our DPS Siliguri is been ranking 1, that is rank first in the state continuously for the last 6 years, as I already told. What makes DPS so great? It is all because of you people, it is all because of we people, and of course our management, right? So teachers are so important over here, okay? So that is what management of work and management of people. Third one is management of operations. It means the total activity. In addition to management of work and management of people, we have to fully see that how is our operations going on. That means operation means major business activity, it has to go on properly. If you say about that our school DPS Siliguri, does it have only one activity, that is only teaching students and nothing else? Yes, we do have so many things. So that is what we have to ensure, that our school is imparting the teaching learning sessions properly. Teachers and students, everyone is happy, and in addition to this, all other activities which helps them to ensure properly has to be done. Next one is management is a continuous process. Management is a continuous process. Now what is management is a continuous process? See, since I already told you while beginning of this lecture that management involves a process. So if management involves a process, and if that process is not continuous, right, like planning, organizing, directing, staffing, motivation, and everything, they're all continuous in process. The entire management activity has to be done in a continuous process. All managers, those who are there in an organization, they all do their activities in a continuous manner. So all management activities are continuous. Number 5, it is a group activity. Management is a group activity. This is quite obvious to understand that management is a group activity. Why it is a group activity? Because in management, every time, if a single person cannot do anything, it is always a team which does the work, right? So it has been rightly told by many experts in the past, and also in the future it will be told, I'm 100% sure. Together everyone achieves more. TEAM, team. So group activity means team. Teams means together everyone achieves more, because alone you cannot do anything. Alone you will never be able to succeed. There will be something or the other which will lack. Point number 6 is management is a dynamic function. See what is happening all around the world right now. Have you ever thought that you will be taking online classes like this? I also never thought that I will be giving you online classes like this. Now see what is happening. In general, what used to happen, you used to come to the school, we used to take your attendance and then go for the classes, asked you to bring the books, open the books, study this, study that, do this practice, do that, and so many things we used to do. But see, that time the management was different. Now the situation has changed due to this coronavirus and all that. Now see, the way we are conducting your class has also changed. So management is a dynamic function, because management changes with the changes in time, with the changes in technology, with the changes in socio-economic background, with the changes in the environment, with everything. Last but not the least, it is an intangible force. That management activity cannot be touched and seen. It can only be felt. So now we are going to discuss objectives of management. What is the objective of management? What is the main goal of management? So management goals or objective of management is basically classified into 3 major areas. Number 1 is organizational objectives. Now what is organizational objectives? Organizational objectives are those objectives which the business is doing for itself, not for any other person, not for any other business. The business is doing it for itself. So organizational objectives is further divided into 3 areas: A, B and C. SPG is what in short form we call it. SPG stands for survival, profit and growth. Survival, profit and growth. Now what is survival? Survival means the business should at least be able to survive in this cutthroat competition world. In this market, the business should be able to survive. That means the business should be able to cover up basic expenses. At least expenses should be covered up. This is called survival. Otherwise the business will come into loss, and gradually the business will shut down. So once survival is achieved, that means in survival what happened? Business is doing only, it is covering up their basic expenses, so that there is neither a profit nor a loss. Then comes profit. Everyone knows what is the meaning of profit. Profit means, profit is something when our cost is less and income is more. Now, profit, why does a business needs profit? A business need profit because the business wants to grow in future, because the business has done so many activities. The business needs to grow in future, the business, and moreover profit is a kind of you know reward for the risk that is borne by the business. Last but not the least, over here in the organization is growth. Now what is growth? Growth is something that higher profits, higher profits. Once higher profits are achieved, then the business will be able to grow. How it will be able to grow? Because the business will be buying more stuffs, going into more number of organizations, multiplying their activities, increasing expansion. This is all thing. After this organizational, next is social. Social objectives. What is the social objective? The business must try to stand in case of need. The business must be able to supply the goods and other things at a reasonable price. Quality should be according to the price. It should not happen that the business is charging more money and giving unadulterated practices and so on. And fair treatment in each and every activity. Third one is personal objectives. Now what are personal objectives? Personal objectives are those objectives which the business is doing only for their employees and for other interested people, like like customers, like employees. Now what things are included over here? Providing better working conditions in the organization, giving different types of facilities in the organization, and so on. Okay, so now we will do the last topic for the day, that is the importance of management, right? So the first topic over there is, sorry, the first topic over there is management helps in achieving group goals. As I already told you, that management is altogether about fulfillment of a group objective, right? A management is not doing the management activity for itself, but it is doing for the organization. Okay, so management, what happens in management, that it helps to fulfill the group goals, because team, as I already told you that time, right, that team is there. Okay, so entire team's objectives are fulfilled by the management. Number two is, it increases efficiency. How it increases efficiency? Remember, I gave you the explanation and the differences between efficiency and effectiveness, wherein efficiency meant that we have to reduce the wastages, we have to increase the optimum utilization of resources, minimum input, maximum output, and so on. So management, what happens, management always tries to motivate, lead, okay, incorporate everyone in the team, and so on. This is how they try to increase the efficiency by reducing the sorry, by reducing the wastages and so on. Next is It creates dynamic function. How it creates dynamic function? You see, now the moment this pandemic started, we shifted over. Okay, so whatever, if we are going to observe the management techniques, the management principles, and everything related to management properly, our organization will be able to survive in any type of situation, whatever comes. Point number 4 is it helps in achieving personal objective. See, in an organization, many people are working. Many people are working. Every person is different from one and another. Every person's background is different. Their educational qualification is different. Their mentality is different. Their thought process is different, and everything is different. Now, what management does is management motivates them. Management trains them. Management tries to give them an upper hand whenever they want to work. They help them to take the initiatives, and this is how every employee will be developed gradually. So when an employee is developed, his personal objectives is also fulfilled. Next is it helps in development of society. How it helps in development of the society? By providing everything at a proper price, good quality, maintaining correct standards and reasonable standards, giving employment opportunity, earning profits, giving taxes to the government, and so on. So this is how it does. So for the day we are going to end up over here. After the video there will also be a PDF format or a PDF file wherein you will be getting the homework for the day. You are requested to complete those homeworks and submit it to your concerned teacher according to the class and section you are in. Else you can also approach me for the doubt clearing. Thank you.